Hello friends, Zevilar here, and welcome to another episode of the Warframe Playground. As you guys know, we have been touching on the Coda weapons, the Coda weapon series lately, and today is no different. We are going to be touching on another Coda weapon. So, I believe I've shown the Coda Motivore. I kind of showed off the Coda Dual Toxica with Temple, but I think I'll do a proper video of the Dual Toxica in a moment, or like later. I've now shown the Coda Hema. So naturally, next on the list is going to be another weapon from the first set. Is going to be the Coda Catabolyst. I mean, ugh. Like, dude, it's freaking pulsating. This is a weird pistol. So, Catabolyst. The Catabolyst itself. Ugh, even this one pulsates. Good God. Alright, you guys are gonna stare at my cape. Okay, there's nothing to look at for now. Alright. Splatter enemies with a short-range beam of a short-range stream, of corrosive bile, and then toss the ammo bladder as a grenade when reloading. The emptier the pistol's ammo bladder, the more potent its damage. A fully empty bladder packs the biggest punch. Bro, what the hell? Am I using a piss gun? Jesus Christ. Okay. I'm sorry, I can't take this shit seriously. Okay. So, Coda Catabolyst. When the magazine reaches empty and is manually reloaded, the Coda Catabolyst launches 3 grenades instead of 1. Now note, I guess apparently we're tossing out his bladder or something, so I guess this thing is a piss gun. Guys, do not be like me in this video. Do not piss on the moon. Okay, because you know where we usually go for the playground. We go to Lua. So we're quite literally pissing on the moon. Man, I guess I was inspired by Dr. By Dr. Eggman or something. I'd be pissing on the moon. I can't take this shit seriously. I'm sorry. Okay. So okay. So jokes aside, real talk. Compared to the Catabolyst, the Coda Catabolyst, oh, it says right here, has a higher status chance, damage, and magazine size. And if you look, yes, those indeed check out. We're looking at a slightly bigger magazine, a little bit more status chance for a base status chance of 50% for some reason. Oh, and here's... Wait. No, that looks... Well, I guess you gotta lose out somewhere, right? So, the base Catabolyst, I guess, has a stronger grenade, but the Coda Catabolyst fires out 3 grenades. So, in a sense, in a manner of speaking, Coda Catabolyst is stronger. Not that I doubt the Coda Catabolyst. Anyway, it's... Right. Whatever. I'm gonna stop talking. The more I talk, the weirder this gets. So, Coda Catabolyst. Unique trait. You throw a corrosive grenade when reloading. And when you reload from an empty magazine, the grenade is bigger with increased damage, crit chance, and status chance. Again, for Coda Catabolyst, this is 3 grenades. So we should be fine. Now today is going to be a bit of an interesting build. I'm going to be doing a secondary enervate Coda Catabolyst. Oh, wait, right. So, just total, looping back around for a moment here. What this doesn't tell you is that the Catabolyst is a manual reload weapon, okay? This is like one of the only weapons in Warframe where the gun won't automatically reload itself. You have to literally physically press the key on your keyboard to reload the gun. But that's a good thing, and you'll see why. So, the build. Galvanized diffusion. Multi-shot, can't argue with that. This time I'm doing toxin and cold. Pair those together, you get viral damage. And, excuse me, this is because you have inherent corrosive damage. So, frankly speaking, I don't think there's much point in just jacking it up with more corrosive. So we're rolling with corrosive this time. We have galvanized shot for status chance and the condition overload effect. You guys have seen the previous playground and or research videos. You already know. We're always running that. Now, primed target cracker for increased crit damage and magnetic might for magnetic damage and increased crit damage. Magnetic is a middle finger to shields. Corrosive is a middle finger to armor. Viral is a middle finger to health. So, we essentially have the holy trifecta of damage types here. And with the status chance that we have, we're going to have no shortage of them. Now, you might have noticed I put on a bit of crit chance, crit damage on my bad. So we have prime target cracker and magnetic might for a total of 150% bonus crit damage. But where's the crit chance? You see, the crit chance is 11%. Well, that's where the arcane comes in. We got secondary enervate. On hit, you increase your crit chance by 10%, which resets after 6 big critical hits. Your normal critical hit is going to be your yellow crit. For me, it is pink. Your big critical hit is going to be an orange crit. For me, it's a deeper pink. I changed my UI colors a little bit. This is a flat increase to your crit chance, okay? So, the first hit I land on an enemy, 11% crit chance. If I hit that enemy 5 times, the crit chance of my gun will then be 61%. But it does reset, so you can't build your way up to 29,487% increased crit chance. I mean, maybe you can through some crazy means, but I don't exactly have the means to do that, so yeah. And real quick, I'm gonna swap this stuff back because we're not going to be playing with reinforced bond this time. I just have my worm to apply some statuses. Apply some statuses that I don't need. As is tradition, we're going to do the 5 minutes of survival. And shit. As you can see, we're off to a great start.
Is attempting to
so,
you from this place. Stand by for
here's how it works. You're gonna shoot the gun. You shoot dudes and they instantly die. But notice, I'm not reloading. And again, that's because this gun's manual reload. So you have to literally physically hit the key, and then you reload and throw out the grenade. Alright? You gotta do that every time. You gotta reload, chuck the grenade. And then, as you can see, there is no shortage of damage from this gun. Oh, critical help. But it is worth noting, I think, you know, from what I've noticed, it seems like if you get interrupted for any reason, you know, mid-reload, you know, whether you've thrown the big balls or not, like if I were to reload, okay, so it's not like for any reason, but if your reload gets interrupted, like just after you throw your big balls, that sounds so weird. Okay, so if I chuck them and then I reload, well, if I chuck them and roll, I still have to reload, and then you'll throw out little balls instead. So if you can, if you can, it is best to try and avoid having to reload twice because you interrupted your animation. Get this guy out of here. I'm starting to hold him brush against the Drac Masters, dude. So, yeah, as you can see, this thing has no problem dealing damage. I don't know what gun people would, I don't know what weapon people would consider the best of the Coda guns, but I would definitely say that Catabolyst is probably up there among the, the strongest. If you're looking for an efficient choice, something that'll get the job done and then some, Catabolyst is right up your alley. So, yeah, Catabolyst. I would actually say Motovore in a way. If you have a melee dowdy build with a puncture. Oh. That was probably not influenced by dowdy. That was just the twin being the twin. I don't know how much I've mentioned this in past videos, but I take pride in being a Wukong main. Alright, I take pride in having one brain cell. As you guys know, every Wukong main has one brain cell. We all share the same brain cell. I'm joking. But yes, I take pride in being a Wukong main. But beyond that, I just like showcasing these guns. But again, and this is just the last time I'll mention it, because you guys probably already figured it out. With the Catabolyst, manual reload, okay? You have to hit the key to reload your gun. Otherwise, you can't chuck the big balls. I shouldn't be saying that, dude. Alright. Enough ball jokes. Sorry, but I have a really stupid sense of humor. Alright. Yeah, as you can see, Catabolyst has no problem dealing damage. It's, still struggling to keep up with the... I think it's still struggling to keep up with the KPS demand of Steel Path Survival, but... Don't tell the devs I said this. I think that's partially because KPS demand and Steel Path Survival is kind of ridiculous. Don't tell the devs I said that. Hey, I understand. And that's not to discredit the devs. I understand that the KPS demand has to be a little higher because Steel Path gives a higher enemy density. I feel like it's been since the launch. I feel like it's a little too high in Steel Path. It's just very hard to get much out of the gun. Okay, so Acolyte's out here, but I haven't been able to really. You know what? I totally zoned out and just had my twin shooting the Acolyte. I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. I botched that showcase. I don't know how much of the damage on the Acolyte was the twin. But as you could probably see, Coda Catabolyst, it did just fine otherwise.
All manner of Orican
Not
technology
I
being
wouldn't
worked
say it's
here
exactly
to
the
keep
biggest
circulars
acolyte
functioning.
buster weapon,
If you
but
have a necromantic
it's
tool,
definitely
you can
good regardless. So, when you can, I'd say when you can, definitely get your hands on a Coda Catabolyst. Play around with it a little and see what it does. See how well it works. And that said, I will see you guys next time for... I'm gonna go with the Coda Bassocyst. Bassocyst? Bassocyst? Whatever the hell you call it. Anyway, like the video, sub the page for more. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.